Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're checking out the most dangerous pop song of all time.
There's one song the FBI once spent 2 years investigating. You might think it's a highly provocative, politically charged anthem, or you might think it contains some of the most obscene lyrics you've ever heard.
Right.
But no, it's just a simple little pop song from the 60s, and you probably recognize it. Sounds pretty harmless, right?
Really?
The song is called Louie Louie by the Kingsmen, and one of the weirdest things is that they didn't even write it. It's a cover song. So what was it about this version that was so controversial?
Y'all be sure to go to David Hartley and like and subscribe.
And nice to have you with us. What did you say in that song there?
Hey guys, I think we got a dirty old man here.
The original song was written in 1955 by Richard Berry, and is based off a popular Cuban tune named El Loco Cha-Cha. The song tells the story of a sailor speaking to the bartender Louie of how he's desperate to sail back to the girl he loves. Berry's original version was barely a hit. It was released as a single, but only as a B-side to a cover of You Are My Sunshine. So, in 1957, he sold the rights for $750. Not bad for a 2-minute song which completely takes its instrumental from another song anyway.
Yes.
I was afraid to ask the guy for $1,000, you know. So I asked him for $750, and so I said, I'll even sell you these songs, which it wasn't only Louie Louie, it was
Your whole publishing catalog.
deal.
Right?
yeah.
8 years later, in 1963, a group of teenagers from Portland, Oregon, going by the name The Kingsmen, chose Louie Louie to be the second song they ever recorded.
Okay.
Richard Berry later said they only found out about the song because they found his recording in a 99-cent bin. They had a tight budget, only about $50 for recording, so the lead singer Jack Ely was forced to sing through a cheap microphone hung from the ceiling, forcing him to shout and slur the lyrics.
Okay.
The sound of the record was great. They'd sort of accidentally created this muddled sound, which became a blueprint for many later garage recordings.
I vaguely remember, I don't want to ruin this video, but I vaguely remember hearing about how someone in the band yells the F word, and you can kind of hear it in the background. Is that what they're talking about?
Muddled sound, which became a blueprint for many later garage recordings. Despite only being the second song they had recorded, the song soon started to climb up the charts and became their first hit.
Nice.
But there was a problem. Because of the way the song was recorded, the lyrics were almost impossible to understand. This caused two problems. Firstly, because no one knew what the lyrics were, teenagers began circulating obscene lyrics either in their place, or because they had believed they had deciphered what they originally were. And secondly, this was also a time when many young people were playing in their own bands.
How fun. How fun. That's probably part of the reason the song was successful. Insert your own lyrics. Let's read what the actual lyrics are. Louie, Louie, Louie. I feel like I've looked this up before. A fine little girl, she waits for me. Me catch a ship across the sea. Me sail that ship all alone. Me never think I'll make it home. Louie, 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 Louie. Take me to where you gotta go. Oh, there it is. Yes. Okay. There's the F word. 3 nights and days I sailed the sea. It's funny that it's in Google. It's just someone screaming it in the background, but it's the official Google lyric. Okay. 3 nights and days I sailed the sea. Me think of girl constantly on that ship. I dream she there. I smell the rose in her hair. Me see Jamaica, the moon above. It won't be long. Me see me love. Me take her in my arms and then I tell her I'll never leave again. Okay, yeah. Other than that F word, it's G-rated, basically.
If you went to a local dance, there would be a band playing, and as Louie Louie became more and more popular, it was played by bands up and down the country, each offering their own inappropriate interpretation of the lyrics.
Awesome.
This was already at a time when rock and roll music was considered dangerous and inappropriate, and now Louie Louie had soon infiltrated every corner of America, causing outrage.
Wonderful.
In January 1964, Indiana Governor Matthew Welsh referred the matter to both the FCC and the National Association of Broadcasters.
What?
But both organizations determined that they were unable to understand any of the lyrics, even played at a slower speed. The controversy caused the song to become even more popular. Their record label pounced on the publicity and offered $1,000 to anyone who could find anything suggestive in the lyrics. We really owe Governor Welsh a lot. The record already was going great, but since he stepped in to give us a publicity boost, it's hard to keep up with orders.
Wow. Yeah. Any publicity is good publicity, I guess. Man, the Puritan attitude is so hypocritical.
You may remember from earlier that the original artist, Richard Berry, sold the rights to the song back to his label for just $750.
Damn.
So they were delighted that a cover version had become so popular.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Richard Berry was making little money as a musician and would later be living off welfare.
I bet if he didn't sell it, though, the Kingsmen would probably not have been able to record it and put it out. So, yeah, that sucks.
Outrage over the song continued, and the following month, a school teacher wrote to Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy claiming that the song contained obscene lyrics and should be banned. Kennedy forwarded it to the FBI, who opened an official investigation into the song. The teacher determined that this record is very popular, is a bestseller in the area, and is played by the local radio stations. He said the record is a calypso-type song, and the words are hard to recognize. However, with a copy of the obscene lyrics to refer to, it sounds like the lyrics are identical with the enclosed obscene lyrics.
What do you
I'll
think
play
I
it
said?
first with the obscene lyrics, and then with the original Richard Berry lyrics,
Okay.
and see if you agree with the teacher's complaint.
Ah,
I have to admit, when reading both lyrics, you can kind of hear them work.
yeah.
It's similar to other audio illusions where you can hear a different sound depending on what you expect to hear.
Right.
Famously, this happened with Yanny or Laurel, or with this children's toy. But in this case, they had
I heard brainstorm both times. Let me hear that again. What?
children's toy.
It's the same sound. Oh, that's so weird. I want to hear the Yanni Laurel thing. Y'all remember that? Yanni or Laurel?
Laurel, 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 Laurel,
I hear Laurel.
Laurel, 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 Laurel,
I hear Laurel every time.
Do you hear Yanny
Laurel, Laurel,
or Laurel?
Laurel.
I hear Laurel every time. Weird. Maybe because I have headphones on. I don't know. Strange.
Children's toy. But in this case, they had reason to believe that they were the actual lyrics. And of course, as other bands played the song, they likely would have included some of these as well.
What did
Yeah.
you say in that song there?
The same one that is out now, the one we recorded, was recorded clean, is clean, was clean, and is going to be clean. And we have absolutely no explanation for
Well
it.
The
said.
FBI spent 2 years investigating, interviewed everyone involved, and even tried slowing down the song to determine what was sung on the recording. The result was this 119-page document, and
Oh
in
my
the end,
God.
they couldn't understand what he was singing, and therefore couldn't find any evidence that the teacher's enclosed lyrics were correct.
2 years and a 119-page report. What a waste of money. Who cares? Like, who cares what the lyrics are?
In reality, like the later viral illusions, it was just down to the low-quality sound and unprofessional way it was recorded. And because of this, there are a couple of other gaffes in the song too. See if you can tell what the drummer shouts after dropping a stick. And secondly, singer Jack Ely comes in too early after the guitar solo and has to wait for the band to catch up. But what happened to Richard Berry, the original songwriter? After selling the publishing in 1957, Richard Berry's song had become more popular than he ever would have imagined.
Yeah, wow.
But 30 years later, he was living off welfare. having received no money for the later success of the song.
I sold a publishing copyright in 1957. I wanted to get married, you know. And at those times, you know, record companies, they'd give you small advances. You know, they never give you any money, but they give you $100, $200, you know.
It made sense for him to sell the rights because even if the publishing was in your name, the record label owned the publishing company and would underpay you as the rights holder. Even the Beatles made very little money from their early records and had to rely mostly on touring and merchandise. But in the mid-80s, drinks company California Cooler wanted to use the song in a commercial and realized they needed Berry's permission.
Really? Get some money.
The lawyers tracked Berry down and found him living in LA with his mother, and mentioned the possibility that he might be able to claim back ownership of the song.
The grounds were that though we sold the copyright, we didn't sell the renewal rights. And after 28 years, the renewal comes back.
The publishers settled out of court, Berry regained the rights to the song, and went from living off welfare to eventually becoming a millionaire.
Yes! Way to go, Richard Berry. A happy ending. That's great. Those obscene lyrics are hilarious. I wonder if I could look up the rest of them. The original lyrics versus the dirty lyrics. Blah, 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 blah. It's crazy. Also, something that I thought about was that it's wild that they recorded this in their garage or whatever, and it became a hit. Okay, here are Barry's lyrics. Finally rush away from me. Okay, we already read those. Okay, yeah. At night at 10, I lay her again. F you, girl. Oh, all the way. Oh my. That's it? I thought it was going to be a whole verse, but it was just that one little blurb. So David did tell us. Oh, well. Wow, the FBI really overdid it, didn't they? They freaked out. That's kind of hilarious. Way to go, Kingsmen. You know, they could have just said what the lyrics were on that TV show. They could have said, these are the lyrics, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But they didn't. They didn't. They kept it a secret for that publicity. Way to go, Kingsman. Way to go, Richard Berry. Whatever happened to him? Is he still around? He was living with his mom. Not that that's a bad thing, but it probably wasn't his choice, you know? He passed away in 1997. So he had about 10 years of being a millionaire. That's a nice into the life, right? Where's he from? Monroe, Louisiana. Louisiana boy. I love Louisiana. He died of heart failure on January 23rd, 1997. Whoa. January 23rd is my birthday. 1997. I remember that day. Wow. I remember that day. Wow. Richard Berry was dying. That's sad. Okay. This was great. What a great story. Y'all be sure to go to David Hartley and like and subscribe. Am I subscribed? I think I am. I am, but let's give it a like. Ba-boom. There we go. And if you made it this far in the video, maybe give me a like and subscribe. It's free. Well, y'all, I'd like to thank my patrons. I'd like to thank my Buy Me a Coffee folks. Thank y'all for watching this with me, and I'll see y'all next time. Later.